Welcome to The Record Show, your virtual spin around the vinyl industry. Brought to you by Radio Wasteland Records. Yes, Midland has a record store. Here's your host, Jim Gleason.
Greetings from the Wasteland and welcome to another edition of The Record Show. We've got a bit of a difficult one headed your way today. We'll explain more here in a little bit. Coming up, we'll talk about an impending change to the Discogs database and how you view it via a laptop and or a mobile device. And we'll cover a very, very sparse number of new releases, hence the difficulties. But first, with the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine taking up much of the headlines, sanctions against the country of Russia from around the world are being felt in multiple places. And that is, unfortunately, going to include the vinyl sellers and buyers marketplace of Discogs. So because PayPal is the platform that processes all of the transactions within the Discog marketplace, and PayPal, due to current events, has announced that it has suspended all PayPal services in Russia, then Discogs had no choice but to follow suit and suspend all transactions on the Discogs marketplace within Russia. So this has several implications for those who both sell and buy from within the country of Russia. Basically, if you're a Russian user, you can still view and export items within your inventory through the dashboard, but they have made them inaccessible to any international buyers. All other Discogs tools and services will still be available for those users, including the ability to work your collection, work your want list, and contribute to the database. But that means that if you're looking to sell yours outside of the country, they have completely shut off that capability. For buyers in Russia, that means that you're not allowed to purchase any items through the marketplace as well. So all of the Discogs tools and services will be available, including the collection, want list, contributions, etc. Now, in addition to Russia, PayPal Commerce, the platform, again, that supports the Discogs payment solution, is also currently not available in Ukraine, although they say it's for reasons that are unrelated to the ongoing conflict. Then there's no further information as to why that is. They go on to say that the Russia-Ukraine conflict is, of course, causing shipping delays and interruptions around the world, especially for incoming and outgoing from Eastern Europe and Northern Asia. Discogs goes on to say they do not have an expected timeline for when this solution will change. So, much like everything else regarding this conflict, we'll just have to hope for the best and see what happens next. So normally this is the part of the record show where we would highlight some of the new releases headed to an independent record store near you. Each week I say hopefully headed to an independent record store near you, because this is one of those weeks where the pressing delays that we have talked about, production delays, shipping delays are really kind of coming into effect. There were a few cool new releases, heck, a lot of cool new releases supposed to be coming out this week, but as of this recording, a lot of them have not made it, at least to our distributors. Some of the smaller stores could be seeing some problems with these releases for the next week or so. If you go to a bigger store, one that maybe buys directly from the labels, I'm sure you're going to get these a lot sooner than you would if you have to rely on a smaller store like Radio Wasteland. Some of the releases that are coming through that we can look forward to this week, however, though, include a reissue, a 30th anniversary reissue, rather, of Unforgettable with Love by Natalie Cole. This is a double 180-gram vinyl LP release, digitally remastered, of her Unforgettable album, the legendary singer and songwriter's biggest selling album to date. Originally released in 1991, it has sold over 7 million copies, and so now we're seeing a fresh remastered release on vinyl this Friday. Another one that looks like it's making it out in time is Bang Bang Boom Boom by Beth Hart. And this one's coming on clear transparent vinyl, and I believe there is a black vinyl release of this as well. The indie exclusive clear vinyl could be a difficult find, though. It looks like that is limited to just 500 copies. So we'll be on the lookout for that. And if not the clear, hopefully you can get a hold of the regular black vinyl version. Now on to some of the other releases that were slated to release this Friday, But for whatever reason, again, pressing delays most likely the problem, especially with Record Store Day exactly 1 month out. These are probably not making it to smaller stores until the week after or so, we hope. We'll just have to kind of stay tuned and see. Included in this, though, should have been a Back in Your Life 180-gram black vinyl version of Jonathan Richman and the Modern Lovers, a music on vinyl release, reissue of that one. Der Kommissar from After the Fire. You remember this one? What a cool song. And if you're familiar with the album, that song is pretty much, well, it's their biggest hit, but it's pretty much unlike any other song on that album. So it's a good find if you can get it. We'll try to get a hold of that as well, but it looks like just a regular deluxe black vinyl 180-gram reissue of After the Fire's Der Kommissar. Oingo Boingo also supposedly coming out this week. Only a Lad, a reissue of that one on green and white kind of swirled vinyl. So this is a limited edition reissue of their 1981 album from the Mystic Knights of the Oingo Boingo. Now, that's not their technical name anymore. Songs of Love and Hate, a 50th anniversary black vinyl version from Leonard Cohen. Also looks like it did not make it to the distributors in time, but was slated for release this week. We'll keep an eye on that one as well. And a MoFi. These things are always so limited and so tough to get a hold of, but due for release this week was a Mobile Fidelity original master recording version of Muddy Waters Folk Singer. That one does come in a little thick if you can find one. Suggested retail price of around $170. And this one, like all MoFi releases, limited. This one just to 10,000 numbered copies. So good luck on finding that. We'll keep an eye on the pressing delay situation, and hopefully we'll have some better news next week and update you then with what is headed to an independent record store, hopefully near you. So much like many music collectors around the world, I use the Discogs database to manage my collection. A little bit more so because I use it to manage our store's inventory as well. Furthermore, I rely on Discogs' ability to narrow itself down to individual releases to help us in setting pricing for some of our more collectible albums, as well as satisfying the needs of certain collectors who want certain albums from certain pressing plants. It does happen. But Discogs is great for that because it is a crowdsourced database, i.e. users basically contribute finds to this. Hundreds of thousands of users submit millions of items to the database on a monthly basis. So it's always and continually growing. Well, with that growth comes the need for Discogs to update its interface. It is a database, as we mentioned at heart, and whether you're using a phone, a tablet, or in my case, a laptop computer to access that database, you rely on that interface they provide you to navigate throughout the database. Well, Discogs is making a few changes to the way that we access and search through that database in the form of updating their master release search mechanism. The upgrade was announced on the Discogs blog page back in February, and the reasons for this, well, it's basically just to keep improving the database and make it more user-friendly, especially as the database continues to grow. Now, the updates, as we mentioned, were announced in February, and by the end of that month, those who use Discogs in a logged-out fashion started seeing those changes. In the beginning of this month, some account holders who were logged into their Discog accounts would be able to opt out of the rollout, and that is in that beta button that we'll show you here in a moment. So basically that means until the end of this month, you have the option to look at the Discogs master releases in their old version or seeing it in the new variation. But by the end of March, everyone will be using the new release page. Now, theoretically, the new master release beta version is supposed to work by allowing you to narrow down much in the same way the old version did. However, I'm using this on a desktop, and I've had no luck over the past several tries getting these drop menus to work to allow me to narrow down that release. This does work, however, on mobile, which I think is really the way that Discogs is pushing, because I'm quite sure that the majority of the users are on a mobile device. However, there are those of us who still use and, quite frankly, rely on Discogs' desktop version on a daily basis. And until they can get the bugs worked out of this beta version, it's not going to do me much good. Hopefully, Yours will work, though, on the way as well. By the way, I did try this in a couple of different browsers, both Chrome and Safari, and still no luck in getting these drop menus to work. We'll just have to keep an eye on this, and we'll let you know when that change comes through. Hopefully it's fixed by the end of March, when this beta version becomes the version to use for master releases across the Discogs database. Sure hope they get that fixed soon, because we rely on that desktop version of Discogs on a daily basis here at the store. Well, let's wrap things up today on a more cheerful note with a fun spin from the wasteland, a historical spin from the wasteland. A little while back, I found this 7-inch 45 called Songs from Michigan Dream. Now, you know that I'm all about helping preserve Michigan's recording history when it comes to releases like this. And so it was exciting to find this because this was done by the Michigan State University Orchestra and the State Singers sometime in the mid-50s. We're thinking 55 or 56. And it is an opera based on Michigan's logging history. Kind of a unique and interesting subject matter, especially for Michigan State to turn into a musical. But Michigan Dream, as they say in the back, is a folk opera depicting the rough and ready logging days of the Grand River Valley in the 1870s. The original production was produced by faculty and students at Michigan State and was presented on campus in May of 1955 as part of the centennial celebration commemorating Michigan State's 100th anniversary. So these are two of the more popular songs from that opera, and they're presented on this 7-inch recording, Michigan Morn and the Ox Driving Song. Now, what's even cooler is found inside of that 7-inch were a couple of typewritten notes that basically talk about the lyrics and the composition and how others can perform this song should they choose to get a hold of the music rights for that. So here is the Ox Driving Song from Songs from Michigan Dream. Have a great week, everyone.
On the 14th day of October, I hitched my team in order, to drive the hills of Petoskey, to me roll to my ridey-o. To me roll to my ridey-o, to me roll to my ridey-o, to my ridey-o. To me roll to my ridey-o. When I got there, the hills were steep, would make any tender-hearted person weep. To hear me cuss and pop my whip, to see my oxen pull and slip. We roll to the ridey-o, we roll to the ridey-o, to the ridey-o.
Ride round, baby, ride round like a record, baby, round, 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 round.
Thanks for watching The Record Show. If you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe to the Radio Wasteland Records YouTube channel. And be sure to hit that notifications bell so you'll be alerted every time we upload new content.